March 20th, 2020, and like everyone else locked up in their homes, I got up, turned on my Switch, and excitedly started playing Animal Crossing New Horizons. Timmy and Tommy gave me the rundown. I customized my face, put in my name and birth date, picked my ideal island, and said I'd take a sleeping bag with me to a deserted island because who doesn't love to sleep? After losing my mind over how pretty the game looked during the in-fight montage, I arrived and met my two other island explorers, Renee and Teddy. We said hi to Tom Nook, he gave us tents to set up, and I chose a nice little spot behind some trees next to the river and near a beach. After helping Teddy and Renee choose their tent spots, we all headed by the raccoons and were given our next task of helping set up the deserted island Rager. A few branches and apples later, we all screamed island names at each other and my name was selected because I'm the chosen one. However, when creating the name, I thought the game would automatically add island at the end of it. I was a fool. So the island was named Penguin, and I said, screw this, I don't want to live somewhere just called Penguin. I said goodbye forever to Teddy, Renee, and my floral shirt and started anew. On this new island, our fellow adventurers are Muffy and Tank, and I immediately like them better because Muffy is a goth sheep and Tank has a leaf on his head. This time, I chose a spot just north of the beach within a group of trees, did some sick parkour over a log bench, and collected peaches for the party instead of apples. When it came time to scream island names, I chose Kyoshi this time because I really love Avatar: The Last Airbender. Though I will say that Awesome Beach and Buffberg were both fantastic options. Since everyone liked my name the best, that pretty much automatically qualifies me for being the representative of the island, a very fair way to assess the quality of one's character. I say a word or two, we all take out our peach martinis, have a toast, and Nook gives me a cot so I can go take a nap. And I mean, I had a busy day of picking up sticks and shaking trees. So I conk right out and I get visited by the spirit of KK in the night. He talks about living the way I want to live and how the world is meant to be explored, which does not all remind me of how I'm heavily advised to never leave my apartment in real life. He also talks about how being lonesome can grind on your soul. Silly KK, you're not a cat. He talks about the importance of friendship and pieces out, then I get abruptly woken up by Tom. He gives me a cell phone, asks me to turn it on, and then tells me to put it away before my millennial brain gets too distracted. Then he happily hands me an itemized bill before realizing I don't have any freaking bells. I mean, who does he think I am? Someone who pays up front to go on an island getaway? He then tells me I can pay with miles instead of bells, which he describes as simply doing things and enjoying myself on the island. Who knew I would ever be able to pay off my debts with happiness? So the first thing I do with my newfound freedom on this beautiful island is, of course, look at my new phone. The Nook Miles reward me for doing just about anything, one of which is taking a photo, so I just go ahead and do that right away. Another way to get miles is to create a custom design. This is gonna take some thinking. Beautiful. It's a penguin. You see it? A penguin. Design done. I display my pattern on the ground in front of my tent flap to warn others about the type of person who lives here, change my passport a little, and check my mail to see that Nintendo themselves has sent me gifts. A simple DIY workbench recipe and oh my god, a Nintendo Switch? I've always wanted one of those. I plop that puppy down and start playing Animal Crossing New Horizons. After that, I go around and chat with my fellow islanders. Muffy gave me a DIY recipe for leaf umbrellas, and Tank gave me a tulip hat. Muffy also gave me a hot tip that I should go see Tom Nook to learn how to learn DIY recipes, and on my way to Resident Services, I stopped by the bulletin board to write a little notice. Inside of Resident Services, I saw some of the stuff I picked up to Tommy, then talked to Nook, who pencils me in for a DIY workshop appointment that starts the moment he signs my name. He tasked me with grabbing a few branches to make a fishing rod out of, so I make like a tree and branches in hand, I return to Nook and make a flimsy fishing rod. Nook then sends me a download for a couple more DIY projects, so now it's time to really get to work. First though, I'm curious about the big box next to Timmy and learned that it's a recycle box, where things go if they have to be removed during construction. Inside is a cardboard box. No snake, unfortunately. Then I check out the next stop and see that they had KK Cruisin', which I obviously cannot go without, so getting bells ASAP will be high priority. I spend a good amount of time beautifying the island by picking weeds, and I catch my first fish, the ever-elusive and most rare black bass. Once I find 8 more branches and way more weeds than I should reasonably be able to hold in my pockets, I go back to the Resident Services workbench and craft a flimsy net, a campfire, and 7 leaf umbrellas, because you really can't be too prepared for bad weather. Now that I have some bells, I immediately order KK Cruisin' Express First Class, and also spring on the chow tea and the paisley bandana for good measure. Having the utility sink would be nice so I can wash my hands like everyone ought to be doing constantly, so I go out and gather a few more things to sell so I can afford it. Now that my shopping's done, I go to Tom and excitedly show him the black bass I caught earlier, and he takes it to send to his buddy who owns a museum. Then he sends me a download for Critterpedia so I can look at all my past accomplishments of removing fauna from their regular lives and putting them in a constructed environment for people and animals to stare at them. I proceed to give Nick a butterfly, and he rewards me with a bunch of wood-based recipes as well as a recipe for crafting an axe. Perfect! I was afraid I was going to run out of ways to disrupt the endemic life around here. I give him one last creature for now, and this time, he rewards me with flower seeds. I plant 2 next to my tent and 2 next to Muffy's tent, but only 1 next to Tank's because he might trample over them while getting swole. I grab enough branches to make an axe, give Nook a common butterfly, and he gives me the recipe for making watering cans. Then I realize I have 5,000 miles now, and that's what I owed. So now's as good a time as any to cough up. Nook shows a bit of his true colors by stopping himself from calling the island a barren wasteland, and then we get to work on ditching my tent in exchange for a house. For further signing my soul away to him, Nook gives me access to Nook Miles Plus, giving me the ability to earn miles in more and different ways. I start assaulting the local trees with my spaghetti noodle axe until it breaks, then take my gathered wood to craft a birdhouse, a bonfire, and some log stakes. I put down the bonfire and practice some 6 sidestep tech before relocating it to the beach. The birdhouse gets placed next to my budding flower patch, and I put the wood stakes down, determining that I could use them as a fence if I want, but maybe later. I go and find a 5th creature for Tom, and as if on cue, he gets a call from Blathers. Blathers gets convinced to bring his museum out to the island, and Tom asks me to pick a spot for him to set up. I quickly whip up a new axe and set out. Along the way, I catch a powerful butterfly that manages to ravage my bug net. With the museum site picked, I hurry up and break my axe, then go make a watering can. I water the flowers around the island, chat it up with Tank and Muffy, and figure it would be a good time to wind down for the day. First though, I go to check out the new stuff I can buy at Nook Stop with my miles. I'm really interested in this special tour, but figure the pretty good tools recipe should be my priority, so I decide to start saving up for that. With that, I wrap things up for now, looking forward to what my second day on the island will have in store.